Okay, I wanted to record myself laying out this block because it does take a little bit of figuring out, and I wanted to show you that even though I've done this like 15, 16 times now, I do need to just familiarize myself with the diagram on page 4. I have that close by. I still have my stacks by kind, by like unit. I have B here first, so I'm going to turn that, and I know that goes in the upper left. C goes in lower left, and you can tell when you're putting these fabric side up, it makes a lot more sense than when we were initially coloring those pieces. That's A, and then this must be D. The E goes over here. The H is down here. I'm just kind of laying them out as I come to them. And this guy goes here. I, we know where that goes. J in that corner. K over here at the left. M, N fits in like this. Okay. P like that. O, oh yeah. R is right here. U is this guy. S is up here. And that must mean T is right there. Okay. Now we're going to seam these units together. The first thing I want us to do is join all of these skinny pieces to the corners. I am going to show you how to pin the pieces together to get them to align really well. I'm just gonna flip up piece E to the A. This green square is pressed to the right, and this background triangle is pressed to the left. That gives me an initial really good place to pin together. I'm just gonna stick a pin in it like this to hold it there. Next thing I'm gonna do is pierce my paper with a pin right through the first layer. And then on the back side, I'm going to line up the pin, and I know it's gonna be right where those two fabrics meet. And I'm looking on the back to make sure that it's lined up in the corner also. Okay, I'm gonna jump all the way back here to the last corner. Put it in. We don't really have a visual reference through this second layer, so I'm going to kind of hunt with my needle point until I get that corner piece. Okay, so you'll see those 3 pins sticking out, and those are like my reference pins. It will just help me to keep everything aligned well, so I can go back in and place more pins. And you'll notice the edges are, since we trim those exactly 1/4 of an inch, they're going to be pretty accurate. Here's another thing I do. I just poke. Once I have it secured and, throughout the length of the units, I'm just gonna take a pin and test myself to make sure that I'm coming out pretty evenly. And then I'll remove this pin, and I will just take a really small bite, trying not to shift things around too much, but that's gonna be really secure. And then I'll even go back and take these reference pins and holding them steady with my left hand. I have a good grip on them. I'm just testing, yep, that looks good. So I'm going to pin there as well. And I'll do the same here with this reference pin. And then lastly with this pin. Okay. When I sew this at the machine, I am going to start seaming immediately here at the edge of the paper and the fabric, and I'm going to make a complete seam, sewing directly on the solid line and then off the edge. You should probably take out your pins, I guess. I usually don't, but that'd be kind of a poor example of me. This is another good test. When you turn it, you should very closely follow the line, and that's pretty darn good. So I'm just going to press. Okay, you'll notice that these seams definitely want to go to the larger square, to the corner. So I'm just going to press that really quick. I've got one corner ready to go, and then I'm going to repeat that with the other 3 corners. Next segments we're going to work with, and I'm just going to start here at the top of the star, is the side background, and then the star point that has the green square here. So I'm going to flip the square piece right on top of the other piece. I can kind of nestle that green square against the background triangle of the piece below and get a good start for matching up right there. I'm sticking a pin into that spot. Then I'm going to do the same at the corner right there. Ooh, hit it on the first try. It's the little things. And then I'm going to go down here at the end, this point here, put a pin right through it. This piece can be a little wobbly, so I'm trying to, as I'm pinning, smooth it out so that the edges are nicely lined so we don't have that shifting fabric throwing us off. We've got that pin stuck where it needs to go now too. All right, now to place more of our securing pins. I'm gonna pop that pin in, got it right on the line, so that's a good place to stop and take a bite. It's so dorky. I'm gonna do the same over here. I'm just holding it securely with my left hand and then really trying to prevent any shifting and just taking a tiny bite of fabric, making sure I get the layer below, of course. And the last one. Okay, now it's ready to sew. Oops, that time I ran right over my pins. The thing is, with a very short stitch length, you're bound to hit more pins than with regular sewing. And when I open this up, I can tell my seam allowances really want to go to the side background. So I am just going to let it, I'm not gonna fight it. Giving this a good press. Okay, then I'm gonna do the other 3 sides and then I'll come right back. Okay. The next job we have is joining this unit that we just sewed together in the last step. We're going to join the other star point to this oddball. And when we're done, we'll get kind of a rectangle shape. Line it up with this star point on top. Taking a pin, sticking it here in the corner on the back. We're going for that point, and it is the place where the spine meets the background. Keep it in place there for now. Same thing on this end. I'm sticking my pin through the point, smoothing the bottom fabric out, trying to get it right in that corner. There, that's a good match. All right. Just kind of smoothing this out, and then I'm gonna drop in some more pins to get it nice and secure. That's a good one, that's a good position. So I'm going to pin that, do one more over here. Ooh, very good. That's a good spot to pin. And then I'll just go ahead and do the ends. Ooh, I was close to getting my thumb. Okay. Now to sew. My son arranges all my pins in the right color family, so I just keep it that way. I think it's kind of cute. Troubling a little bit too. Okay, now we're gonna open this up. That seam kind of just wants to stay toward the yellow, so I'm gonna let it. And we've got ourselves a really good match. So now, this is the rectangle thing, but as you can see, when they're all assembled, this is going to go together like a 9 patch, and there will be no Y seams, of course. So I'm going to finish the other 3, and then once again I'll come back for the next steps. Now that we have 9 patches here, we're going to sew these together. I'm going to sew this piece to this piece, and when that's seamed, I'm going to add this piece. Same thing with this row, and then we'll just have 2 longer seams left to tie it all together. We're going to flip it right sides together, and I'm using the same techniques over and over again. Aligning it, sticking a pin through the corner. Ooh, got that one too on the first try. And then doing the same on the far corner. Okay, and then there are a few other points in here that are going to be a little more fussy. So where that star point joins the background and the darker blue, and then on this side where the purple and the dark blue meet, I'm going to be careful with how I stick a pin through there. Got that. Okay, that looks good, so I'm going to secure it. I'm going to secure this one too. Do this one next. This is a little bit bulky here, but we'll be able to secure it. All right. All right, very good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so same thing over here. Let's sew it. Okay, here's our top row. Okay, now I want you to do the same thing with the second row here, second row template pieces, and then the last row. We are so close. And one thing I kind of forgot, because it's been a while since I had sewn these blocks, is that if you actually press your seams away from the star points at the top and on the bottom, you have these going away toward the outside of your block, then when you sew the middle row, you can turn seams going toward the middle. That way these seam allowances will nestle with these and will nestle with these, and that just kind of makes the sewing easier. I'm going to flip the top over the middle. If you notice your paper's starting to fall off, no big deal. We'll be able to work around that. If you notice me crying, it's just because I'm poking myself with pins. Just kidding. Following the same principles here as matching and sewing together, I'm positioning pins. I might go ahead and secure that one now too. Looking good. Okay, so I'm going to do this last one with you too. Solidarity, we got to stick together. Dun, 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 dun. Love it. Yay. It turned out great. Very cool. Well, I don't have any plans for this. I'll probably just make it a mini. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my papers now. If I were to join it in with another block, I might leave my papers in and so use this line as a reference if you're joining it to another piece. But since I don't have anything left here, I'm just going to show you too how ripping out of the papers is simple. You can get your kids or your significant other to help you too. That's always awesome. Yeah, if you've never paper pieced before and you were able to pull this block off, I would love to hear from you. Thanks again. My name is Jessie Ziegler. My business is Threaded Quilting Studio. You can find me at threadedquilting.com. I'm on Instagram at Threaded Quilting. I have a Facebook page called Threaded Quilting Studio, and I also have a closed group called Friends of Threaded Quilting Studio, and I'd love if you would join me over there too. You're more than welcome. Just click join and I'll make sure to add you. But yeah, we'd love your input and your friendship and your questions and everything over there. So check it out. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.